I'm gonna choose what I believe to be the 3 best albums from every decade, starting from the 2020s and moving all the way back to the 1960s. Any genre, any artist. This is just my personal list, so don't get upset if your favorite album isn't here. And if you enjoy the video, please like and subscribe, it would show your support. And let's move on to the 2020s. The third best album of the 2020s is Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers by Kendrick Lamar. I don't want to say this album is underrated because most of the songs have over 100 million streams, but maybe it's underappreciated? I don't know, it just has such a deep concept about generational trauma, taking accountability, and having conflict from within. It's not the easiest listen, so not everyone will like it as much as others, but I think it's Kendrick's deepest and best concept. My favorite song on the album changes quite frequently, but as of now, I'll go with Mother I Sober is about how Kendrick was allegedly abused as a child, but these were false allegations. This relates to the whole generational pain thing. It's raw, it's vulnerable, it's beautiful. I love this song so much. And moving on, the second best album of the 2020s is The Forever Story by J.I.D. This isn't J.I.D.'s first album, but to me, it really feels like the full introduction to him as an artist. This album talks about how he grew up, his struggles, and his family. It's all told through perfect storytelling with amazing flows and rhyming. The production is great and catchy. It really just shows how versatile J.I.D. can be. And my favorite song, well, I've talked about 2007 so many times, so this time I'm gonna talk about inside of a paddy wagon. We sardines to saltine crackers. My god, this song is so good. This song talks about a fight that he and his siblings had in New Orleans and how it actually brought them closer together. The production on this song is my favorite on the album, with the spooky sounding piano and his flawless rapping and storytelling. Round my city, I am my shooter, minding my business, I am not you. I absolutely adore this song. And for the number 1 best album of the 2020s, it is Wow. Just wow. Ants from Up There by Black Country New Road. This album is an emotional masterpiece. It's not very easy to describe it, but it hit me harder than any album this decade has. It's a rock, post-rock, orchestral sounding album. The lyrics get so incredibly vulnerable. The whole album just plays like one long song, flowing from one song to another so easily. And for my favorite song, I feel like I have to go with If you have not heard this song, then oh my god, what are you doing? Go listen and then come back. Basketball Shoes is a 12-minute titan of a song. It's one of the best songs I've ever heard in my life, not gonna lie. It was actually a song before the album came out, meaning it was sort of the blueprint for the entire album. It's deep, it's raw, and it's the perfect outro to this perfect album. The best album of the decade. On to the 2010s, and the third best album from this decade is Twin Fantasy by Car Seat Headrest. This album is messy, this album is emotional. It feels like Car Seat Headrest's emotions just spilled out everywhere and you get to listen to them. It tells a story of a rocky relationship, talking about love, obsession, self-hate, and eventually finding yourself. It's definitely rough around the edges, not the cleanest sounding album ever, but honestly, I think if it were polished, then it would lose a lot of the personality that it has. And my favorite song from the album is If there's a really long song on the album, I feel like I'm always gonna pick it. This is an over 16-minute legendary track. It feels like the entire thing broke apart, and by the end, it fixes itself. It's intense, it's crazy, it's sad, but it's good. So unbelievably good. The most powerful song on the album. And the second best album from the 2010s is Atrocity Exhibition by Danny Brown. This album is literally insane. And I mean that in the best way that I possibly can. It's so dark and chaotic. It's Danny Brown going down his downward spiral. It's a noisy and at some points uncomfortable album, which perfectly matches the topics he discusses, which are drug abuse, self-destruction, and the loss of control. If y'all know me, you'd know that my favorite song from here is This is one of my favorite songs ever made, and I consider it to be the greatest rap song ever. It's about Danny's life falling apart due to his bad choices and addiction. The energy, the meaning, and the sound all come together to form this indescribable feeling. And number one, best album of the 2010s is going to
That's the way every day goes, every time we've known.
Blonde by Frank Ocean. This is a difficult album to put into words. It's so deep. It feels like Frank Ocean opening up his heart for all of us to listen to in the most vulnerable way possible. It has experimental, dreamy, and soft sounds throughout it. It has just as much meaning as it does enjoyability. Once again, another obvious favorite song if you know me, but I'm going with
I do for you.
Yeah, this is in my top 5 favorite songs ever. Also, real quick, just want to mention, the title Siegfried is just a beautiful title. Like, completely separate from the music, the title itself is like pretty, I don't know. But yeah, it's a super cryptic breakup song. What I love about it is that it's so vague, leaving it up to the listener's interpretation. His honesty, his emotions, and his vocals just make this song so unforgettable, proving that this is the best album of the decade. The third best album of the 2000s is In Rainbows by Radiohead. Some may have this at number 1, but I think the third place spot is perfect. This album feels like floating, calmly and peacefully, but there's something wrong. Some strange, unsettling feeling is in the background. The album is beautiful, but not clean. It has almost a hypnotic feeling to it, where every track pulls you in more and more. My favorite song has gotta be Yeah, I was either going with this or Nude. They're about tied, but I'll just go here. This song captures the exact feeling of sinking, like falling deep into the ocean, not knowing what'll be around you. It's creepy, but it feels peaceful at the same time. It's an impressive blend of uncomfortability and comfort. Number two. Alright, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. The second best album of this decade is Lift Your Skinny Fists Like Antennas to Heaven by Godspeed You, Black Emperor. Wow, that's a lot to say. But yeah, this is not music as we traditionally know it. It's a very slow-paced album. Honestly, it's like a cheat code. There's only 4 songs on it, yet it's nearly an hour and a half long. I love long songs, and this album is just 4 songs that are all around 20 minutes. It's post-rock, which means there aren't many, if any, lyrics at all. It's just slow, beautiful instrumentals that you can take in. And since there's only 4 songs, I'll just rank them all from worst to best, starting with the most abstract sounding song here. It's more of an atmosphere rather than a song. It's like beautiful background noise. A perfect intro to the album, starting off very peaceful until it eventually dives into chaotic sounds. It's calm, crazy, and beautiful, all put together. The perfect outro to this album, bringing a great sense of closure. It feels like you float away at the end, leaving the album behind you. Good fucking lord. This song is just on an entirely different playing field than almost every other song ever made. It's the darkest and most intense song on the album by far. It starts slow but builds into an emotional, distorted explosion. Words can't do this song justice. Just go listen to it. I just feel like I have to go with this for number 1. The best album of the 2000s is
That don't kill me.
I got you. Okay, it's not bad, but come on, there's more music that exists besides Kanye West. And the best album of the 2000s is going to
Remember all caps when you spell the man name.
Mad Villainy by MF Doom and Madlib. I'm not gonna lie, this is the best rap album ever made. The strange production by Madlib, paired with MF Doom's absolutely flawless rhymes and flow, is bound to be an amazing piece of art. The songs are all short, with clips of random audios thrown in between them, sort of piecing it all together. It's unbelievably creative and unique. For my favorite song, you know what? This time I'll go with
Wreak havoc, beat beatless, mad traffic, sleek and lavish people.
I love the message of this song. The first verse is about how Doom finds it ironic that the police are paid to put a stop to crimes that they also commit themselves. The second verse is about how wars do not harm those who have the power to declare it. I don't know, I just love seeing this serious and political side of Doom. That paired with the amazing production and sampling just makes it unbelievably good. Best album of the 2000s. The third best album of the 90s is
as a mother.
Soundtracks for the Blind by the Swans. This album is honestly terrifying, but low-key beautiful. It's one of the darkest albums that I've ever heard. It's loud, it's crazy, and sometimes it barely even feels like music. It feels like you're transported into an entirely different world for 2 hours. A dark and broken world. And even though it can be long and overwhelming, it's an experience unlike many others. And my favorite song has to be... Helpless Child is over 15 minutes long, and it feels like a complete mental collapse. It starts slow and quiet, but it progresses, turning chaotic. It's haunting, sad, and charming all at the same time. It's what I'd imagine the world falling apart to sound like. The number 2 best album of the 90s is going to... The Low End Theory by A Tribe Called Quest. This is the second video in a row now I've been praising this album. Maybe I'll go for a streak. But yeah, this is the definition of being smooth. It's jazzy, it's chill, and the lyrics, still sharp and clever. This is the perfect sound of jazz rap to me. The production is simple at times, but flawless. The bass lines are like gliding, and Q-Tip and Phife Dawg have some of my favorite chemistry ever. It's a timeless album, over 30 years old, but it's still hitting hard to this day. And my favorite song changes all the time, but I'm going with... I love the bass line and the vibe of this track. It feels creepy almost, with that clean and perfected jazz sound. The instruments come together to make this haunting sound. There's more perfect chemistry with good rapping from both members. This really is one of the best rap albums I've ever heard. And number 1 best album of the 1990s is definitely... OK Computer by Radiohead. This is one of them where if you know, you know. This album can change anyone's life. It's like a new reality where everything is robotic and cold. It's depressing, it's sad, but it's delightful. It's an experimental rock album that is full of weird sounds and cryptic lyrics, all working together better than I ever could have imagined. Every time I hear this album, I get a better, deeper understanding of what it means, leaving me shocked on every listen. The best song here is what I consider to be the 3rd best song ever made. This song is an emotional roller coaster. There are calm segments, aggressive segments. Feels like multiple songs all phased into one, all blending together in a way that is unreasonably good. Those iconic guitar riffs give me goosebumps on every listen. Perfect example of why this is the best album of the 90s. The 80s, what a lot of people consider to be the best decade of music. I have one above it, but yeah, the 3rd best album is... Remain in Light by Talking Heads. I really didn't know what to expect going into this album. I expected some early 80s rock, which isn't bad, but I just wasn't too excited for it, you know? But no, it's rhythmic, funky, experimental. It's so weird, but I love it so much. It's got African-inspired beats that still sound unique to this day. It's chaotic, but not messy. It's so groovy and so fun. And for my favorite song, I'm choosing... This is the perfect introduction to this madness of an album. The song is about the paranoia and confusion during this time period, during the aftermath of the Watergate scandal. It brings the weird, funky energy perfectly. It's danceable, yet still deep. It's fun, yet still brilliant. And number 2 album of the 80s is going to... This album is straight up magical. It's pop, funk, rock, and soul all jumbled together in an amazing nearly 44 minutes of art. The songs feel personal, flashy, and emotional. It's also very catchy. Some of these songs play in my head hours after I finish listening to it. And my favorite song just has to be... The title track to the album is the perfect closer to it, and one of the greatest outros in music history. Prince described it as being about the end of the world, but letting love guide you through it. It's kind of a terrifying topic, but it's done so well that it lets the beauty from within shine. The best way to end the 2nd best album of the 80s. And number 1 best album of the 80s is definitely... Thriller by Michael Jackson. I mean, come on, it's Thriller. It's the biggest album of all time, and for good reason. Every song is unbelievably catchy and iconic. It's the closest thing we've ever gotten to a greatest hits record in real time. It has pop, R&B, funk, and rock throughout the track list. The production is so clean and polished. Michael's vocals are some of the greatest of all time, and the songwriting is just great. It's one of those albums where I want to eat a snack while listening to it. By the way, rate my food 1 to 10.
Is this a W Eats guys. So I got the fries, and then I have the peach mango and pineapple dum dums, and I have a bev.
My favorite song is super underrated. It's...
Make this a night we won't forget.
I think this is arguably the best love song ever made, and the perfect way to end Thriller. His vocals are so good here, showing his range better than any song on the album. It's one of the smoothest and cleanest songs I've ever heard, showing exactly why Thriller is the best album of the 80s. The 1970s, this is, in my opinion, the best decade of music ever. And the third place album is going to... Off the Wall by Michael Jackson. He's back again, and this is personally my favorite MJ album. This has to be one of the most feel-good albums I've ever heard in my life. The whole album has that disco, funk, pop sound to it, and it's so groovy and catchy. It's the album where Michael Jackson showed that he's no longer a kid. It also has a lot of love put into it. You can hear how different it sounds compared to his previous albums because he finally had full creative control over it. And my favorite song has to be the title track. I think it's fair to say this is one of, if not the most fun song ever made, and one of my favorite MJ songs. The whole message of leaving your stress behind and enjoying life is so simple, yet so effective. It's almost infectiously groovy, and I love the vocals so much. It perfectly captures the energy of the album into just one song. On to the number 2 album of the 70s, I went with... Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd. This album is the embodiment of sadness and frustration. You can hear just how much pain Pink Floyd was in while making it, due to losing Syd Barrett, a former band member, and from just the issues with being in the music industry. The production is slow and atmospheric, with long instrumentals, giving you time to listen and think. And no surprise on this one, my favorite song is the title track, Again.
So you think you could tell?
I put this as my number 2 song of all time for a reason. The song is a tribute to Syd Barrett, and it's so raw and vulnerable. You can hear the regret and pain in every word said. It's also such a relatable topic. It can be applied to anyone's situation. Longing for someone you miss, wishing they were here. Before I move to number 1, I'm gonna give some honorable mentions because, like I said, this is my favorite decade of music. The Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin 4 by Led Zeppelin, Rumors by Fleetwood Mac, Songs in the Key of Life by Stevie Wonder, The Wall by Pink Floyd, Let's Get It On by Marvin Gaye, and many more. But anyway, my number 1 of the 70s is my number 1 album of all time, which is... What's Going On by Marvin Gaye. This is the best example of soul music. Calm, smooth, yet devastating. Marvin Gaye poured his heart and soul into this project. You can feel his suffering and his hope in every track. It's a very socially conscious album, talking about war, poverty, and social injustice. It really has a good message behind it. And my favorite song is, once again, the title track. Yeah, this is my number 1 song of all time. I think there has never been another song made that is better than this one. Every time this song comes on, it just makes me... It talks about war, hate, and how war is never the answer, and the only way to defeat hate is with love. It's still shockingly relevant to this day, despite being over 50 years old. It's the greatest introduction in music history, and the reason why this is the best album of the 70s. The last decade of the video, the 1960s, and my third best album of the decade is... Electric Ladyland by Jimi Hendrix. My best way to explain this album is that it feels like Jimi Hendrix rewrote how to make rock music. It's all over the place, messy and experimental, but it still manages to work well. It's like a controlled chaos. He was not trying to fit in. Quite the opposite, actually. He made his own sound, and it turned out so well. My favorite song from this album is 100%... Just to clarify, this is not Voodoo Child, Slight Return. That's the outro to the album, and it's 5 minutes and 13 seconds. Voodoo Child is the 4th track, and it's 15 minutes long. This song has a supernatural feel to it, with weird lyrics and sounds, and I love that. It feels like more than a song. It feels like listening to history be made. And the number 2 album of the 60s is going to... The Velvet Underground and Nico 45th Anniversary by, well, The Velvet Underground and Nico. Just want to quickly mention, I've seen some disgusting allegations against Nico, and if these are true, which I have no idea if they are or not, it's fucking disgusting. And with that out of the way, this album honestly sounds ugly, and I know that is not a positive thing, but let me explain. This album kind of sounds like it was recorded on a fucking tin can, and the lyrics are kind of depraved and dark, but that's what makes it work so well for me. It feels like a live performance, like they're right in front of me, opening up about their addiction and obsession. It's not trying to be clean and pretty, it's trying to be real. And my favorite song from here is definitely... I don't even know if I'm allowed to say heroin on YouTube. I'm just gonna censor that shit to be safe. But yeah, this song honestly is kind of disturbing to listen to. The structure is all over the place, building and destroying itself. The instruments begin spiraling into pure noise, and the whole thing feels like it's barely being held together. The lyrics completely reflect this sound perfectly, about how dangerous and terrifying addiction is. It's a scary song, but I think it's honestly so impressive how this was even made, especially at the time. I genuinely don't believe this song could be remade today better than it was then. And on to the final album of the video, the best album of the 60s is... Revolver by the Beatles. This is one of my favorite albums of all time. I made a poll and it lost to Yay by Kanye West. That shit kinda hurt, not gonna lie. But yeah, this is like the album that invented music. And no, I'm not here to say it's good because, oh, it's influential. If it weren't for this album, then no. This album still sounds amazing almost 60 years later. I genuinely listen to this album frequently and I love it every time I hear it. I adore those psychedelic sounds and the unimaginable ideas on the album. My favorite song from it is... I'm gonna be 100% honest with y'all here, this shit made me cry when I heard it for the first time. It's one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard in my life, and it's placed on an album with distorted and experimental sounds, just adding to this one's beauty. I think it's simple, it's heartfelt, and it's perfect. It proves that the Beatles mastered emotional writing. Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of the video. If you made it here, drop your favorite artist in the comments so I know you made it. Also, feel free to drop your 3 favorite albums from each decade. I read and respond to every single comment, and have an amazing day. Bye.